It's not his fault that you decided to get on your back. That's not his fault.
It's not. No, you're right. Right.
Your best friend sent her man over there to rescue you, and you paid her back by ruining her marriage. And you ain't no better.
When Tesa met her husband Edward 20 years ago, he was married to her best friend. Eventually, Edward divorced his wife and married Tesa, and for a while, everything went well. But now, 7 years later, karma has come to call.
My husband was ripping and running the streets, doing whatever he wanted to do. He wasn't paying me any attention.
I made my mistakes.
You were cheating too?
Yes, he was.
I made my mistakes, so she want to counteract on that.
Is this simply a case of what goes around comes around, or will Judge Lynn be able to help save this marriage? Today, on Divorce Court.
Come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Tesa Isom and Edward Isom. The two of you have been married for 7 years. Mrs. Isom, you are done. Don't want to be married anymore. Cooked, that's it. It's over for you. Mr. Isom, you would like to save this marriage.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about what the issues are. I'm going to try to see if there's something we can do to bring this thing back together. Or if we can't get to that point, Mrs. Isom, you have a request, a financial request of Mr. Isom, and I will make a ruling with respect to that. Okay. But before we go there, Mrs. Isom, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and why we're here today?
Okay, Judge, Your Honor. We're here today because my husband, Edward, he's very, very insecure. I love my husband very much. I met my husband over 20 years ago. He was actually married to my friend. And, yeah, I know. He was actually married to my friend. And what happened
Did you break up the marriage, or you just
I
picked
broke
him
up
up
the
after
marriage.
she got rid of
I broke up the marriage.
You broke up the marriage?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
And you were there too. I'm not just blaming her.
Right.
I mean, you
I
too.
played a role. I played a role.
Not a role. You were the one who had the commitment to your first wife. You were the one who told her, forsaking all others, keeping only unto you, and you're the one who broke that promise.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
it was deep that you were her best friend. I mean,
It was. It was wrong, Your Honor, and I crossed the line, and I regret it every day.
Okay.
I'm starting to regret it more days. Anyway, Your Honor.
You wish you would have left him with her.
Exactly.
Okay, tell me a little bit about what's going on.
Okay, we've been together for 13 years. We've been married for 7.
Okay.
A few years ago, Your Honor, I had an affair.
How many years ago?
3 years ago. It was in 2010. But since then, I've changed. I'm not the same person I used to be. And ever since the affair, Edward constantly accuses me daily of messing around.
How did he find out about the affair? Did you get caught or did you fess up?
No, I fessed up because I got to the point where I was really tired of going. I didn't want to be with that man. That wasn't who I wanted to be with. I wanted to be with my husband.
How did you fall into the affair? Was it just an opportunity?
Yeah, my
you
husband
were together?
was ripping and running the streets, doing whatever he wanted to do. He wasn't paying me any attention. He wasn't giving me the things that I was needing.
Mr. Isom, she's accusing you. She said you're the reason that she fell into the arms of another man. Why don't you respond to that?
Your Honor, I work 2 jobs.
Uh-huh.
And 6 days a week. And on Sunday, I drive the church bus, so I'm pretty busy.
Were you paying any attention to her?
I pay attention to her all the time.
Were you paying attention to her then?
No.
Evidently, I wasn't, because she slipped away from me.
Okay, but he was messing around too.
I made my mistakes.
You were cheating too?
Yes, he was.
She vengeful. I made my mistakes, so she want to counteract on that.
When you say you made your mistakes, what does that mean? You were cheating when?
Well,
The same time.
Did you have an ongoing cheat happening? Were you a sporadic cheater? Were you a continuous cheater? Was it one particular chick?
I think it happened when I felt neglected. When she wasn't paying, she said I wasn't paying her attention. She wasn't paying me no attention.
Well, who felt neglected first?
Me.
Him.
So you went out and about.
Pretty much.
Did you have affairs or an affair?
An affair.
A long-lasting affair?
Short.
How long? How short is short?
Oh boy. Couple months.
A couple months.
When divorce court continues, are Edward's demands simply too much for Tesa?
Edward likes to have a lot of sex. If it was up to him, we'd have sex 3 or 4 times a day, John. But right now, I think I'm at the end.
And all the men in the audience said amen. Now that the kids are grown and on their own, is your longtime spouse getting on your last nerve? If you're ready to divorce, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com or become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt.
Divorce Court returns with a case of Edward Isom, who admits he hasn't gotten over his wife's infidelity from 3 years ago. But do Edward's insecurities lead him to extreme behavior?
If I leave my house, he calls my phone every 15 minutes.
So y'all just don't have a moral code. I mean, is that what it is?
No, it was
You slept with your best friend's husband.
Right.
You slept with your wife's best friend. And then when you get together, you sleep with whomever outside of the relationship that you two have together.
Your Honor, this was more in the beginning, though. All this was pretty much more in the beginning, besides this last time, which when I had the affair, which was 3 years ago.
So you kind of didn't have it together in the beginning. You kind of got it together, and then you fell off the fidelity wagon 3 years ago.
You know, I did, but you know, I'm trying to work on it now.
Okay, let me ask you this. You seem to feel that there was something going on in the marriage that started that. What was he doing? Was there something?
He was drinking. Edward drinks Long Island iced tea daily. When he's driving in his car, he's got to have one between his legs, Your Honor.
That's kind
And
of bad.
he knows how I feel about that, because 14 years ago, that's how my children lost their father to drinking and driving. So that's the main issue with me.
Do you have a Long Island iced tea in between your knees?
Not much as
behind
she's
the car?
trying to say. It's not that bad.
Every
It's not,
day.
what do you mean not that bad?
You know, when I get off of work, yes, I do occasionally
Okay.
drink. I will go buy me a Long Island iced
And
tea.
when he don't work, when he's not at work, in the morning,
he's
on the
drinking
weekend,
too.
that's all he does.
You also say that he is rather demanding physically. Explain that to me.
Edward likes to have a lot of sex. If it was up to him, we'd have sex 3 or 4 times a day, Your Honor. But right now, I think I'm at the end.
And all the men in the audience said amen.
But right now, I think I'm going through I'm at that age now where some hormones things going on with me.
Changing
So, you know, I'm really not in the mood like that all the time. And then you stand here and you cuss me out and you accuse me of doing something, and 2 minutes later, I'm like, let's go have sex. No, that doesn't work with me.
Mr. Isom, what do you want to say about that? If anything, you don't have to.
No, that's it.
You know.
Well, like I said, I work 2 jobs. I come home, sometimes I be in a sexual mood, so I want to make love to my wife.
Sometimes, every day. Every day, Your Honor.
Okay. Your main complaint, I think, at this point, Mrs. Isom, is that he can't get over what happened in 2010. Tell me some of the things that he's doing currently that keeps that issue in the forefront at your house.
If I leave my house, he calls my phone every 15 minutes. If I don't answer the phone, he starts calling family members' phone.
She overdoing it, Your Honor.
No, I'm not. He'll call
She's
the
overdoing
kids.
it.
He wants to know where I'm at 24 hours a day.
Are you still somewhat insecure about
Very
the
much
affair that
insecure.
I'm talking to him, not to you.
I say I'm a little insecure.
You have to be willing to try to get over it, but you have to be patient because it's an injury that you caused.
When divorce court continues, the ugly truth of how Tesa and Edward got together.
Your friend sent her man over there to rescue you,
That's right.
and you paid her back by ruining her marriage. And you ain't no better. Do you think that a relationship that starts out with an affair can ever have trust? Call 1-800-282-1991 to vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers.
If you would like your case heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and follow us on Twitter at Divorce Court. Divorce Court returns with a case of Tesa Isom, who admits she stole her husband Edward from her best friend. But Tesa's history of infidelity wins her no points with Judge Lynn.
It's not his fault that you decided to get on your back. That's not his fault.
It's not.
Do you really think she's still cheating, or are you just still smarting from what she did 3 years ago?
I don't think she is right now.
Huh?
I don't think she is right now.
But do you still bother her about
do.
what she did?
I do.
Are you still scared?
I wouldn't call it scared. I just don't want to be called, played as a sucker, as you want to. That's how we call it.
You think you
I
got
feel
played?
stupid. Yeah.
And you don't want to get played anymore.
Right.
You understand?
I understand that, but I've been played also, Your Honor. You know, I went all the way to New Orleans on a bus with a fifth of Cavassier in my purse to go get my husband from a 25-year-old.
But she was up here dating. She was at home dating now.
What did the fifth of liquor have to do with anything? I mean, did you have to lure him with the booze?
No, I'm talking about for me to calm my nerves because I was going to do something crazy.
Oh, okay.
To calm my nerves.
Calm your nerves?
Yes.
Typically, I will say this. Liquor is not a calming ingredient.
Exactly. That's how we got hooked up into this thing in the beginning anyway.
Now I see what's up.
When he and I first got together, I was drinking because I had just lost my kid's father. So I was out drinking and I called my friend and I asked her to come and get me. Instead of her coming to get me, she sent him. So that's how that started. But I don't drink like that every day anymore, Your Honor.
Not every day, just
Occasionally on the weekend.
Your Honor, I ain't tell her to take me home.
Your Honor, he used to always try to flirt with me, and I tried to play it off for a long time. I did. And I always told him I was gonna tell, but I never did. But, you know, he ended up that
It's not
night.
his fault that you decided to get on your back.
That's
not his fault.
It's not. No, you're right. You're right.
Your friend sent her man over there to rescue you,
That's right.
and you paid her back by ruining her marriage.
Ruining
And you
her
ain't no
marriage.
better.
My main issue is the accusations. He can't trust me. And I've been trying really, really hard to get him to trust me again. I don't go nowhere, Your Honor. I stay home. I clean up. I keep the house clean. Whatever. When he gets off from work and comes home, his bath water is done. I don't cook as much anymore because all the kids are gone. There's nobody there but he and I. So I don't cook like I used to. But, I mean, when he comes home, everything's perfectly laid out for him.
Mr. Isom, she's telling me a fairly good story of a woman who has earned redemption.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You drive the church bus?
Yes, ma'am.
It means you're a Christian?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the Christian faith if it isn't about forgiveness?
About forgiveness.
I didn't say I didn't forgive him. I didn't say I forgive. Well.
And the thing is this, either you decide to be with her and love her and trust her, or be without her.
Be without her.
But don't stay with her and not be able to trust her. You with me?
Yes,
you have the
ma'am.
right to go. Do you see what I'm saying?
I understand you, Yonder, but she don't trust me. She talking about the same phone call she said I made.
Do you do the same
she do
thing?
the same thing.
Your Honor, only
You do.
time that I really, really call is in the bewitching hours, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, when you should be at home.
Sometimes I had 3 jobs. I be on call at night. I drive tow truck.
Okay, but
You're not drinking
But you
in the
should
tow
answer
truck.
your phone.
No.
But you should answer your phone.
It'd be dead.
When Divorce Court continues, has Edward reached the end of his rope?
It ain't like I can't move on. I won't move on. If that's what she wants, she can have it. I love her now, but let her go now.
Did you hear that? Do you think that a relationship that starts out with an affair can ever have trust? Call 1-800-282-1991 to vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers.
Divorce court returns with the case of Tesa and Edward Isom, both of whom have admitted to extramarital affairs but are not sure they want to call it quits after 7 years of marriage.
You want to save this marriage. You want her to stay. She's tired of getting beat up by your accusations.
Exactly.
If there's one thing that you could get her to do, or one thing that would allow you to get past that point so you wouldn't have to beat her with it, what would it be?
I don't know what would it take.
So you don't know if you can get past it, is what
really
you're
don't.
saying.
I don't know.
There's nothing she could offer you in terms of what she
Everything.
would do,
I've done
what
it.
she could say.
She's been really working hard, but
It's not enough.
it's.
Why do you want to stay if it isn't enough?
I mean, I love her.
And I love him. I love him more. But I
You know,
can't
you
go.
know what, Mr. Isom, you know what I'm going to tell you to do? I want you to fake it. You love her. And if you want to keep her, you got to stop beating her up with that. And you got to stop being afraid.
Okay.
Because you're beating her because you're afraid. I might get hurt again. I might get played again. Oh my God. You got
Yeah, that shield is up.
Yeah, that shield is up. You got to bring that sucker down. And until it comes down, you got to act like it's down. Stop calling her. Stop, yeah, I wonder where she is. Don't go there. Don't make the call.
I have my good days and I have my bad days.
Yeah, but see, right now, we got a bad day issue because she's here. And she wants to cut you loose. And you don't want to go. So what you have to do is have more good
But John,
days
it ain't
and
like
bad
I
days.
can't move on now.
Huh?
It ain't like I can't move on or won't move on. If that's what she wants, she can have it. I love her now. We'll let her go now.
Did you hear that?
I heard him.
You don't want to go, though.
I don't want to go.
I
no.
know you don't want to go.
No, I don't.
I know you don't want to go.
I just want him. I just want him to just stop.
Yeah.
Stop with the accusations.
You don't know how to get it. You don't know how to fix it. You've stopped. You're not doing it anymore. You're doing everything you can to be a good wife, and you don't know how to get him to believe again.
Exactly.
You don't know how to get him to believe again. I think you should go to counseling at your church. I really
Well,
do. I really do. Because
We had talked about that, but
it's what you want. Don't keep telling me what you have. You know what I mean? It's what you want.
okay.
And if that doesn't work, go to counseling somewhere else. People often think that they've tried everything when they've tried the same thing over and over and over again. You're stuck in that cycle of disbelief. Not that she hasn't earned it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Not that she hasn't earned it. And we're not saying by forgiving her, you're not saying it was okay.
Right.
By forgiving her, it doesn't say that you were a fool. By forgiving her, it doesn't say that she was a good person when she did it. But by forgiving her, you're saying that I want to live from today forward and not suffer from what happened yesterday. That's what it is. I think you two love each other.
I love to death.
Tacky history and all. And I think you need to put down the liquor
Right.
and, pick up that Bible that you drive other people to see. Go to some counseling. She's going to get her hormonal life together. You're going to get your romantic game together, and you're going to give it another shot with new tools, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're not going to talk about that money, right? We're not going to talk about it because you're staying.
Okay.
You staying, aren't you? I know you are.
If he can stop with the accusations, get him some counseling for that, so we can move past that. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what that is.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I'm
my
saying?
only issue. My biggest issue.
Well, I know what your big issue is.
But she
and I
got
just,
the nerve to even want to even
hey,
bring
hey,
up the
hey, hey!
Okay.
Y'all paying attention? I gave you things to do. Don't argue with me about them. Go do them.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
They don't work, come back. I'll give you some money. You're decent people with a tacky past. Try to get past it and move forward. There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered.
All right. Parties may leave the courtroom.
First thing that I'm going to do when I get home is call the pastor and request that we get some counseling.
Well, when I get home, I'm gonna work on my marriage. We're gonna seek counseling and try to change some things I say to my wife. Try to work it out.
Since leaving divorce court, Tesa and Edward took Judge Lynn's advice, and they are restoring their marriage. They love each other and hope to be happy together for a long time to come.